welcome you into a live edition of Dolphins Today, my favorite day of the week, other than Sunday or game day, of course, is a live Dolphins Today Wednesday hell of a show, all geared up and ready to go for you. So thanks for making us a part of your day. And hey, the Dolphins are 10-4 with a showdown at home at Hard Rock Stadium against the Dallas Cowboys. One of several intriguing NFL matchups this weekend as we get closer and closer to playoff time. The Dolphins can clinch a playoff spot on Sunday. We'll tell you every single scenario that could play out resulting in a Dolphins playoff berth. But first, I got to welcome in the second member of our crew. Dolphins Today would not be possible without him. Jeremy Chugs, how the hell are you?
Woo!
Oh, that good? My eardrum's blowing off, man. My goodness. I can tell you're all hyped up on Mountain Dew. Actually, no, hyped up on an apple. You're hyped up on an apple. That's the natural energy that you get from the fruit, my friend. How are you, brother?
I'm trying to keep the doctor away.
That's right. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Dolphins Today also keeps the doctor away because we get you so ready and full of knowledge. We work your brain. And you know that scene on School of Rock with Jack Black? He's like, it'll work your brain and your mind and then he doesn't have anything to say. So, hey, welcome into this edition of Dolphins Today. Woo! What's going on? Who's in the chat? Let me know. Where's everybody watching from?
Ty Man the Buckeye from Ohio.
Oh, Ty Man the Buckeye. Hey, let's talk some college football for a second. Are you sad to see Kyle McCord go? Or was it time? Probably going to say it was time because...
what transfer portal quarterback will go to Ohio State?
Oh, yeah. I mean, college football has turned into free agency. The transfer portal, I mean, love it, hate it. I, in particular, do not like it, but it's here to stay, and that's the future of college athletics is, oh, he's going here, he's going here. It's like with your friends when you do the fantasy draft and you could pick any player, and sometimes you do it on the video games, the fantasy draft. That's what college football has turned into. All right, let me say hello to everybody. Jimmy James, how about that? That's a fun name. Jimmy James
Biloxi,
is watching
Mississippi.
That's a nice area, especially nice this time of year. So
I did not know.
Yes. We've got Hojo in Willow Springs, North Carolina. How about that? I was just talking about North Carolina to some fellow coworkers at Chat Sports HQ. Wow. Beautiful time to visit North Carolina in the summer, play some golf, get to a beach house, all that good stuff. Shout out North Carolina. Magic Dragon Wizard, hello from Indiana, the Dolphins.
You.
Hey, the Indiana Hoosiers, the Hoosier State. Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? I believe Mark Cuban went to Indiana.
He did.
As did Sage Steele.
And my fiance.
Oh, how about that? Shout out Danny. Is Danny watching?
Oh, more than likely. Yes.
More than likely. Okay, perfect.
Well, no, she's still at work. In an hour, she'll be watching.
Hey, if you're still at work, you've got my permission to tell the boss to stick it and watch Dolphins Today.
Tell your boss, hey, I'm watching Dolphins Today, presented by Prize Picks, and if I go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and I use code CLNS, they're going to give me a $100 deposit match because Prize Picks is daily fantasy sports made easy, boss.
Yeah, boss, tell them that. And you know what? I'll do you one better. Prize Picks also has the 12 days of Picksmas. That's right, a new promo each day leading up to Christmas. And with Picksmas, Prize Picks are giving out 12 days of brand new promotions. So you got to sign in every day to see what's in store. And part of the 12 days of Picksmas, the Demons and Goblins. How about this, Chugs?
Ooh.
New from Prize Picks, you can now make it easier or harder to win with the Demons. I always say you got to risk it to get the biscuit. You can win up to 100 times with Demons picks.
I love biscuits.
But they are a little wild. They're statistically harder to win, but entry qualifies for higher payouts up to 100 times as much. And here's what I'm working with this week, more or less on a player's projected stat line. So obviously I'm picking more on Tua Tagovailoa's projected passing yards of 270.5 and less on Dak Prescott's 276.5 projected passing yards and more on Raheem Mostert's projected rushing yards at 57.5. And how about this, Jugs? We got our first super chat of the day. Larry!
Oh!
What? A $20 super chat! Larry! Hey, I'm Larry. Shout out to you, Larry, the realest of the real. That's good stuff. Larry Foltz III, I'm sure Larry Foltz Jr. and Larry Foltz Sr. are also awesome individuals, just as you are. Thanks for the super chat. Miami will show all the haters that say they can't win a game against a winning team. Yeah, that's right.
Woo!
It starts on Sundays against the sorry-ass Cowgirls at home, Miami Gardens, Florida, Hard Rock Stadium. Miami will show them who's boss. Shout out to you, Larry Foltz.
And I want this to look like whenever I play COD. I want to see all D's in the chat.
Yes!
All D's in the chat.
Show some D's on it. Throw some D's on it. Type those D's in the chat if you want the Dolphins to beat the Cowboys. Who you got? It's real simple. D for Dolphins. I better not see any C's. I better not see any C's in the chat. But hey,
wow.
If you believe what you believe, there you go.
Throw some D's in the chat. Throw some D's in the chat.
I love it. Let's see those D's. And who haven't I said hello to yet? James Taylor. We've got M, a Canadian. Oh, a Canadian, eh? Do you know how they decided on the spelling of Canada?
How?
They said, no, how about a C, eh? N, eh? D, eh? And hey, you got Canada. Yeah, that's not my best. Wow, Chugs, you can't work with me a little bit?
That was good. No, that was good.
No, it was not. You hated it. You hated it, man. You hated it.
Holy crap.
Last time I ever tried to be funny. My
great.
goodness.
That was great.
No, you hated it. There's no coming back from this. Show's over. Show's over. Everybody go home. Riepma told a terrible joke. I'm just kidding. We got lots to get into. Lots to get into. We've got 162 people watching, 25 likes. So, here comes the like police. Hey, like this video so that we can reach more Dolphins fans. Like this video. It doesn't cost you anything and it takes 1 second. Like this video. Woo, is it 100 degrees in here or is it just me?
I think it's just you because I feel pretty good.
Ah.
Did you watch Hard Knocks last night?
I don't know. Did you?
I did not.
I watched it. Excellent stuff, and we're going to talk all
I
about
did see Braxton Berrios. Congrats.
Yeah. We're going to talk all about what's her? It's Earl. It's Alex Earl, and she's on the TikTok and famous. I don't know what she's famous for. I think Braxton Berrios is famous for being good at football. I'm probably going to put my foot in the mouth type of thing because 6 million people follow Alex Earl on TikTok.
Does she dance?
They didn't really get into what she does on TikTok.
Oh, that's never good.
No. That's why, I mean, she referred to Berrios when they first started dating as NFL guy. And I felt bad for Braxton. He's worked really hard to achieve his fame, his accomplishments.
Maybe she's worked really hard to achieve her fame.
Yeah, that's probably true. I just don't think. I mean, the TikTok videos. I don't get it. Like,
you sound like such a boomer right now.
I am. Okay, boomer. Type Jake is a boomer in the chat. Boomer. No, but Hard Knocks was awesome last night, minus the TikTok stuff. And she was plucking his eyebrows. I felt bad for Braxton Berrios, but he played really well against his former team, the Jets, and most importantly, the Dolphins got a win against the Jets.
Maybe the most important question, if you get anything out of today's show, ladies and gentlemen, it's that it's the holiday season. Have you gotten your loved ones their presents yet?
Yeah, I asked this last week.
Where are you at?
Because I, along with Jeremy Chuggs, was legitimately curious because some people love to wait till the last minute, Christmas Eve even perhaps. Other people are getting shopping done in the fall. and then there's some right in the middle. Let me know where you're at, and if you haven't started yet, oh my goodness, let me tell you.
You're screwed.
No, you're not screwed. There's still time, Chugs. Don't discourage anybody. Come on, this is a positive environment. Merry Christmas. If you say Cowboys on top, I'll send $1. Absolutely not. Your dollar's no good here. Cowboys, cowgirls.
How about this? Cowboys on top. Oh, this piece of shit!
Hey! How about that, sports fans? Who else we got in the chat? Villain, let's go. You got to get going on your holiday shopping.
Haven't started yet.
Oh my goodness. We need more people to get going on their holiday shopping. We're trying to help you out here. Buy him a Chat Sports t-shirt. You can buy him in the link below of the video description, I believe. That'd be an awesome gift. A Chat Sports t-shirt.
What did you get your loved one?
She's watching, so I can't tell you.
Oh, Sydney's watching?
She is. At least she said she was going to be. I did one serious gift and one more fun gift.
Oh.
How about that?
So the fun gift is you.
Yeah, my presence, yeah. No. Those that know my wonderful girlfriend, huge NFL fan.
I got a Vienna box.
Yeah, precisely. But no, she's pretty easy to buy for, I'd say, because she lets it be known the teams that she supports.
Oh, a D in a box, baby.
All right, you guys are the best in the comments. How many people we got watching? 235. Yet we only have 31 likes. The like police are coming out, but first you got to let me know what's on your Christmas wish list. Let me know in the comments. Hi, shout out to you, Oscar Lopez. All your presents are done. Great job there. I've got one I'm waiting for to be delivered from the old Amazon. So, I'm checking the status.
Somebody said something about a secret Santa, something about, white elephant. What's the worst white elephant or secret Santa gift you've ever gotten?
Oh, it happened to me at the Christmas party, at the Chat Sports Christmas party. Worst white elephant gift were Swiffer mops, like the pads you put on the Swiffer mop, so I could clean my home.
Do you have a Swiffer?
Yeah, actually, so I guess it's practical. We put them to use already. My girlfriend says, like, hey, we can use this when we're cleaning. And I was like, well, other people...
The worst gift I've ever gotten is somebody, which it was at my grandma, R.I.P., whenever she used to do her Hanukkah parties, she invited some of her friends over, and they were, like, older women. Mm-hmm. And it was like, not Secret Santa, White Elephant, $20 for a gift. I picked one of their gifts, and it was electric toothbrush.
An electric toothbrush.
I was like, oh, wow.
Thanks.
An avocado.
It's an avocado. Thanks. I love that video. Oh, no, we had a great white elephant Christmas gift exchange at Chat Sports HQ.
I wasn't able to make it, but I actually had a great white elephant gift set.
Oh.
It was a calendar, 12 months of dogs pooping.
Oh, God. What? Who makes a calendar about that?
Oh, it was fantastic.
Oh, my goodness. I worked really hard on our on our white elephant gifts.
What did you bring?
I brought, it was a candy cane it was in the shape of a candy cane, but inside the candy cane were all different kinds of moonshine. So maybe you want a little peppermint moonshine. I think there was an apple spice moonshine, lots of different moonshine options. And I thought, some people at Chat Sports might like that.
You wouldn't have liked my calendar?
Not of dogs pooping. That's weird.
But they were in front of majestic backgrounds.
I love dogs.
It was like a dog in front of the ocean. A dog on a cliff.
Yeah, I love dogs, but that's the one drawback is, we all poop. But.
Sherry May in the
Sherry May!
In the holiday spirit.
I love that. Oh, Merry Christmas, Sherry May. Shopping's done except for the old man's stocking. Ooh, stocking stuffers can be tough because you want to make it worth your while.
I want my stocking to get stuffed.
I recently thought of a really good stocking stuffer because sometimes there's things on your list that you kind of feel funny asking for. Example, shaving cream. Everybody needs shaving cream, but you don't want to put shaving cream on your list. But that's a practical stocking stuffer.
Yeah.
Stock it right.
I celebrate Hanukkah, so I get my boxer stuff.
Oh. Yeah, how does that work? Educate us. So there's 12 days of Hanukkah.
Mm-hmm.
Nights of Hanukkah.
8 nights.
8 nights of Hanukkah. I'm just trying to think of all
so
of Adam.
Much Hanukkah.
Adam Sandler's song, yes.
To celebrate Hanukkah, subscribe to Dolphins Phenomena.
That's great stuff.
Happy Hanukkah.
You got to subscribe for daily Dolphins videos all year long at youtube.com/Dolphins News. We've got a YouTube video for you every single day when breaking news happens. We've got you covered. Never miss a moment. And subscribe to the largest Dolphins community on YouTube. And we're more than just a Dolphins channel. We are a Dolphins family. Live shows, live watch parties, and Chad Jones is in the comment. Chad Jones, who? Chad Jones, who? Chad Jones. Dolphins Today legend, a member of the Aqua Club, the most prestigious level of membership at Dolphins Today.
Chad, don't feel inclined, but if we want to maybe get a little crazy, I'll do a holiday beer boot here on the channel for $100 today before we get started. I'll go get a boot. I'll knock down a boot before we even get going in the holiday spirits.
Oh, that's good stuff right there. All it takes, we could do, do you want to do Venmo or do you want to do?
Whichever way you prefer. But I mean, if we want to get a little holiday spirited up, why don't we go a little crazy?
When's
the last time a boot was done here on the channel?
Germany game, because I almost puked. It was Dolphins versus Chiefs in the Germany game.
Oh, I love it.
I could not tell you, like, that feeling of just being up the creek without a paddle. When I took that boot, I was like, oh. Can't do it. Can't do it. We got 70 people watching, and Jeremy Chuggs is going to do a boot as soon, or if, I should say, no pressure.
If anybody's, no matter who it is, sends in a $100 super chat, it's going down.
It's going down. Or yelling, Timber, I'll be the one. You'll make me dance. That's not how it goes.
No, not at all.
Let's make a night you won't remember. I'll be the one you won't forget.
All right, we're losing them. We're losing them. Let's get into the segment.
Let's do it. We got a lot to get into, a lot to cover. If you've missed any of our Dolphins content leading up to Dolphins Cowboys, this is your one-stop shop. Let's make it happen. There's been some roster moves made by the Aqua. There it is!
Chad!
This is unbelievable!
Bang!
A $100 super chat. There is none like Chad Jones, everybody. Oh my gosh, I got water everywhere. I can't believe it. Chad Jones sending in the $100 super chat. Give it up, everybody in the comment section right now. Show some love to Chad Jones making it happen. Chuggs is on his way out of the studio. He's going to get a beer bong or a boot because Chuggs is going to earn that nickname of Jeremy Chuggs. A $100 super chat coming in. And oh my goodness, what a time from Chad Jones, the $100 super chat. This is incredible. Chuggs is going to get that beer bong. And I'm going to respond to a couple of comments in here. Sherry May, Jake, you didn't do beer bongs in high school or college? That's a great question. Sometimes in the off season. Now, I played college football, so in the fall, didn't really drink a lot. We had morning practices, film sessions, games on Saturday. We were on the road a lot. Didn't really drink a lot. That being said, I've never been good at downing the chugs, so I don't have the capacity in the throat to be able to chug like Jeremy Chuggs does. However, However, that's not to say I didn't have a good time. Of course I had a good time. So that said, how about Chad Jones? Let's freaking go. A $100 super chat. Didn't even bat an eye. Said Jeremy Chuggs gives me a challenge, and I will respond. How about that? That's great stuff right there. Oh, man, you got to love it. You got to love it. We've got a lot to talk about today on Dolphins Today, and we're going to get right into the most recent roster move. But, oh, my, here it is. Here's the boot. Jeremy Chuggs about to do the boot. You're doing it, right? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's bad news when I try to do it. This is great stuff right here.
If I do it in under 8 seconds, somebody else has to send in 100 for me to do it again.
Okay, that's a good deal. Under 8, you can drink all that in under 8 seconds? That's insane. Insane. All right, so I need the stopwatch out here. 8 seconds. Oh, God, that's the clock.
What do y'all think? Over, under 8 seconds. O for over, U for under. What are we thinking?
O for under, O for over, U for under. Can he do less than 8 seconds? I mean, look at how much is in this thing. My God. All right, how do I get my stopwatch? It's just not wanting to work. I'll do it on this computer. Dude. I was trying. Oh, it just wasn't working. All right, here we go, folks. Let's count them down. Do you want me to count? Or I'll start the clock when you start drinking. I'll start the clock when you start drinking. Got the stopwatch ready to go. Oh, this is insane. Insane. Yeah, what's the most important part for warming up for a beer bong?
Gotta be loose.
Got to be loose. Okay. Or a boot. I keep saying beer bong, but so how many beers are in a boot? 3. Oh, I thought you meant 6. Or 33. 6? No, 3 beers in this guy. Oh my gosh. And you just down it like that. It's crazy.
All right.
How we feeling in the chat? Let's span some love. Chugs, 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 chugs.
If I do this in under 10 seconds, guaranteed Dolphins victory.
Under 10 seconds, guaranteed Dolphins victory. I agree.
Ready?
Yeah. Take your time. And the clock is going. Chugs, 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 chugs. Go, 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 go. Oh, 7.6. 7.6. Unbelievable. Let's go.
Do you believe in miracles?
Jeremy Chugs. There is none like him. How do you feel?
I'm going to Disney World.
Jeremy Chugs does it. This guy's unbelievable. What a talent. What a first-round draft pick, number 1 overall talent, taking down a boot in under 8 seconds. 7.6. That's insane. Wow. Oh, my gosh. Empty. Not a drop left. Just the foaming on the side. How do you do it, Chugs? How do you do it? That's insane. That's incredible. I'm at a loss of words, folks. I am at a loss of words. Oh, my. What a time. Woo, what a time. 79 people had the pleasure of watching you take down that boot. That's incredible. There is none like him. There is none like him.
Now you have it guaranteed.
That's right.
Dolphins winning.
Wow. Oh, my gosh. I got to somehow focus back in. I'm at a loss. That was insane. Do you always knock it out like that?
Yeah.
That's incredible. How do you allow for that amount of liquid to just go down? Seriously. I can't. I'm sounding like a babbling idiot because I just can't even believe the talent that's on display here.
All right. We have some Dolphins news and rumors to get to.
Wow, we've got something.
Shout out to Chad Jones, you crazy SOB.
Wow.
Jerry knows it.
Just open your throat. I don't have a throat that likes to be open.
It's one of the reasons why they call me the throat goat.
The throat goat. That's incredible stuff. Wow. Woo.
Zealous says, if we win, you got to do that every game.
Yeah. $100. Make it happen.
I told you, every 100, I'll do it on the show today.
That's insane.
All right. Ready to get it rocking?
Yeah. I've never been more ready after that wildly entertaining performance from Jeremy Chuggs.
All right. Here we go.
Special stuff there.
The latest Dolphins news and rumors from Jake Riepma.
Hey, let's get right into it. The Dolphins have made some significant roster changes ahead of the Week 16 matchup against the Dallas Cowboys with playoff implications on the line, and we are here to break it all down and take a deep dive into exactly what it means and why it's important that the Dolphins are making this move for the final stretch of the season. So here we go, Week 16 on the horizon, Dolphins Cowboys, and it was official yesterday right before we took the air. So wanted to have more time today to take a deeper dive and really dissect exactly what this means. But the Dolphins announced that running back Chris Brooks has been activated off injured reserve, and the ensuing roster move that followed, linebacker edge rusher Jason Pierre-Paul has been waived, and the Jason Pierre-Paul experiment lasted only 3 weeks. He played 5 snaps in total. So you look at that defensive line and the players that have been making the impact and making the play, that was highlighted perfectly on this edition of Hard Knocks, the most recent one, Zach Sieler and Christian Wilkins, salt and pepper. They've been exceptional. Raekwon Davis has also played well. And then on the edge, you've got Emmanuel Ogbah. And remember, Melvin Ingram also signed to this Dolphins roster, still remains on the active roster. But how about the play from the edge? It was so painful to see Jalen Phillips injured, blow that Achilles against the New York Jets. But Bradley Chubb and Andrew Van Ginkel, oh my, have they stepped up. And most recently, Bradley Chubb, the performance he had the second time around against the New York Jets was just exceptional. A little bit more on what this roster move means from Barry Jackson, a Dolphins insider, with Jason Pierre-Paul cut to make room for Chris Brooks. The Dolphins have Cam Good, who's played 20 snaps on Sunday against the Jets, and practice squad addition Melvin Ingram, 6 sacks for the Dolphins last year, as options for that increased depth for the number 4 edge job behind Bradley Chubb. Van Ginkel, of course, your 2 main contributors, and then Emmanuel Ogbah has quietly put together a pretty productive season, kind of playing in behind Chubb and Van Ginkel. So, with that said, I know Jason Pierre-Paul was kind of a big name, and he wasn't here long, but I got to ask you, are you sad to see JPP go? Type Y for yes if you think, hey, man, we didn't give it a chance. He still had some gas in the tank left. Or if you think, man, not a big deal, type N for no. But either way, Jason Pierre-Paul has been waived. And with that, we say goodbye. Let me know in the comments Y for yes if you're sad to see him go, or N for no. Now, I think it's also important to point out that this Dolphins defense is hitting their stride, and that's putting it mildly, because since the return of Jalen Ramsey, since this defense continued to gel under first-year defensive coordinator Vic Fangio, they have become a force and a strength of the Dolphins team. Check this out. Second highest sack per pass play percentage. That's second in the NFL at better than 10%. And only the Chiefs have a higher percentage of sacks per pass play. I know it's a mouthful to say, work with me here, but that is a testament to how good the defensive line has been, and kind of reinforces the fact that maybe you don't need a guy like Jason Pierre-Paul, or the guys you have are better, and the production would certainly back that up. A few more, 48 sacks this season from the guys up front. In fact, like I mentioned, Zach Sieler, Raekwon Davis and Christian Wilkins in the middle, especially Wilkins and Sieler, have been exceptional, combined with Bradley Chubb and Andrew Van Ginkel. Sprinkle Emmanuel Ogbah in there. Those guys are getting it done. So, yes, Jason Pierre-Paul had the impressive resume, but I don't think his presence will necessarily be missed. And we'll see how it all works out on Sunday against the Cowboys. That offensive line has allowed 33 sacks this season, which is tied for the 10th fewest. So the Dolphins' defensive line will have their work cut out for them, but how about some momentum to build off of how good they were against the Jets last time out? Yes, they forced the 4 turnovers, very impressive, but a lot of that was caused by the pressure up front. They held the Jets to just 4 yards of total offense in the first half and only 103 for the game. And that's right, 6 sacks, 14 quarterback hits, and they only allowed 80 pass yards. And albeit it was kind of the combination of Zach Wilson, who obviously hasn't been good this year, and touchdown Trevor Siemian. But point being, the Dolphins' defensive line made the life miserable of the opposing quarterback. And we hope to see more of that on Sunday against the Cowboys with Dak Prescott back there. And that falls heavily on the shoulder of Bradley Chubb, who has been having a tremendous season. He did not play so well Monday night against the Titans. He was able to turn the page and put forth his best performance in a Dolphins uniform. In fact, 3 sacks, the forced fumble, one of those he recovered. He was exceptional, and he's one of the X factors for the Dolphins defense if they're going to have success against a high-powered Dallas Cowboys offense. And with that said, there's a lot that goes into the defensive game plan with the Dolphins taking on the Cowboys that we're going to continue to dive in. But first, I got to give a huge shout out to today's presenting sponsor, and that, my friends, is Prize Picks. I've been telling you about Prize Picks for weeks. It's the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. In fact, it's easy to understand, and with the fantasy season over, now is an even better time to play daily fantasy sports. You simply pick more or less on a player's projected stat, and that's where the fun begins. You got to go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. And speaking of fun, I mean, my goodness, it's the 12 days of Picksmas. How about that? Prize Picks is giving out a special promotion each of the 12 days leading up to Christmas. So we're in the midst of Picksmas as we speak. You got to sign into your app each day to see what's in store, including the Demons and Goblins. This is all new from Prize Picks. You can now make it easier or harder to win up to 100 times with Demons. Yeah, it's a little bit harder to win and statistically less likely, but the 100 times or potentially up to 100 times your money is certainly exciting. It's why Prize Picks is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And here's what I'm working with for Sunday's game against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm picking more on Tua Tagovailoa's projected passing yards at 270.5, less on Dak Prescott's projected passing yards at 276.5, and more with Raheem Mostert's passing yards at 57.5. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, and we love you and we care about you. So we'll put that link right in the description of today's video. I'll give it to you one more time just in case. It's PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Now, Bradley Chubb deserves a lot of credit. I was tough on him, and he shut me up. And I love to see it because he was a force against the Jets, so much to the tune he was named the AFC Player of the Week on the defensive side. So let's show some love to Bradley Chubb. Type those twos in the comments. Show some love. Bradley Chubb, your reigning defensive Player of the Week in the AFC. Shout out to Bradley Chubb. 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 fumble recovery. The success of the Dolphins defense, he is such a crucial component to that, and we saw that on full display against the New York Jets. Now, with the increased role on the defense that Bradley Chubb and Andrew Van Ginkel have taken, it allowed the Dolphins to cut Jason Pierre-Paul to make room for Chris Brooks. Chris Brooks is officially activated off IR. He's been practicing for 3 weeks now, and we all saw this coming, but it's a huge addition to a Dolphins backfield that already has a lot of weapons. And Chris Brooks, undrafted free agent rookie out of BYU, not a ton of sample size, not a lot of tread on the tire, if you will. He only played in a couple of games before getting hurt, but in that limited sample size, I think we saw on full display how powerful of a running back Chris Brooks can be. Also in the preseason, he showed a lot of promise. And again, not a ton of statistics to go off of, but that 6.3 yards per carry on 15 carries is pretty impressive. So where does he stack in this talented Dolphins running back room? Obviously, Raheem Mostert is RB1. Devon Achane, I always say, running back 1A because of how good he's been. And Jeff Wilson Jr. has taken some snaps at RB3, but now with the addition of Chris Brooks, I think he adds that extra element in terms of a powerful running back that can pick up tough yards in short yardage situation. And that is where I'm anticipating Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins to utilize Chris Brooks in 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 situations where the Dolphins, quite frankly, have not been very good all throughout the season. Check this out. 50% success rate on 3rd and 1. You might think 50, that's not bad. No, that is not good. On 3rd down, that'd be great, but we're talking 3rd and 1, and that is the 2nd worst in the National Football League, converting just 50% of 3rd down and 1s, and it gets even worse if it's a 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1 situation combined, down all the way to 37.5. And look, we watch every game today together on the watch parties. We've seen Mike McDaniel try to get too creative at times with these 3rd down and 1s and 4th down and 1s. And I think back to a couple of games ago where Tua did a fake sneak and then tried to throw it back to Mostert. It was a fumble. And there's been several times where the Dolphins have 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, and can't quite pick it up. So I'm hoping Chris Brooks will be a guy that's utilized in those situations for the Dolphins moving forward. Now, I'm confident in Chris Brooks and the Dolphins' short yardage offense, but I want you to let me know how you feel. Rate it for me in the comments. Your confidence level in Dolphins short yardage offense. Scale it 1 through 10, where 10 you think, hey, we can guarantee it. It's a first down. Or 1 if you think, I need to see more. This team has stunk on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 situations. Let me know in the comments. Scale it 1 through 10. Now, like I said, I think when you add Chris Brooks to the Dolphins running back room, it provides one more thing that defenses have to game plan for. That said, I have loved the way Mike McDaniel has utilized Raheem Mostert for, I'd say, 95% of his role so far this season, and obviously the statistics reflect that, but I'd like to see him utilized in short yardage situations as well. On Sunday against the Jets, there were a couple of 3rd down and 4th down situations in which Mostert picked it up. So let's hope that the Dolphins can continue to be a productive offense in the 3rd and 4th down situations. And for Raheem Mostert, what a year he's having. I wanted to show you guys this just to shed a little love on the breakout season that he's had. Well on his way to 1,000 yards. And take a look at the touchdowns. 18 of them to be exact. And if that sounds like a lot, it is a lot. That is a brand new Miami Dolphins franchise record for the most rushing touchdowns in a season, and there's still 3 games to play, but the 18 touchdowns on the ground for Raheem Mostert passes Dolphins legend Ricky Williams, and Mostert has 20 for the season, 20 total touchdowns. He's got the 2 receiving touchdowns and is well on his way for setting a Dolphins franchise record for most total touchdowns as well with the 20 that he's got. Any way you slice it, you got to show some love to Raheem Mostert. So go ahead and do that now. Type 31 in the comments and show some love to our guy, Raheem Mostert, who has been exceptional this season for the Miami Dolphins and is paramount to the success that the Dolphins offense has had and will continue to have with him in the backfield. Want to remind you as we wrap up to subscribe to the channel for all the latest Dolphins news, breaking news, injury news, as well as team previews and everything else that goes along with our programming here at Dolphins Today. Live watch parties, live shows, and everything in between. You got to subscribe to Dolphins Today. Hey, Jeremy Chugs!
What up, bro?
You all right? I got seriously worried there for a second.
Bro, that segment was lit.
It was wild, huh? Just absolutely wild.
Woo!
How are you
Quick
feeling?
question.
Yeah.
You have to guess it right now.
Okay.
You have to put money on it at this very moment. Who do you think makes it out of the NFC this year?
Oh, the NFC. So we have.
I was going to ask AFC, but then it's obvious.
Yeah.
It's the Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Who will the Miami Dolphins be playing in the Super Bowl? It's going to sound like the popular opinion because it makes the most sense, but I don't see how anyone's beating San Francisco. Woo-wee! They look good.
A little revenge game? Mike McDaniel revenge?
Oh.
Raheem Mostert revenge?
Yeah, you're exactly right. Did Jeff Wilson play for the Niners?
He did.
Too? Yeah.
Yeah.
With all the NFL transactions, sometimes they get lost in this brain of mine, but I pulled that one out. Yeah. That's good stuff right there. Woo! How's everybody feeling? Sherry May says Jeremy probably needs to pee right now. Is that true?
That is. I wasn't even really thinking about it until I read that comment from Sherry May. So I appreciate it. Chad, I will not pee. I will not pee.
That's good mental toughness. That's good mental toughness. We're football guys here. Football guys don't pee.
Hold! It's like that scene from Lord of the Rings. I'm just, hold! Hold!
Lord of the Rings. Man.
Give me the Philadelphia Eagles.
Really? After what we just witnessed on Monday night, that epic collapse, they have Matt Patricia calling plays for them defensively. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
What makes you think the Eagles are going to turn it around? I do love Jalen Hurts.
I just think they were due. They were due for a couple down games, you know?
Yeah, it is a long season. Which cracks me up.
Everybody was on the Cowboys train before last week because they killed Philadelphia. And then they lost to the Bills. Everybody was down on the Bills until they beat the Cowboys. It's an 18-week
It's a roller
season.
coaster. That's right. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I've also got a sneaky dark horse for you out of the NFC. I think you probably know what I'm going to say.
I do know.
The Detroit Lions.
Packers.
No. The Lions, I mean, Jared Goff's gotten to a Super Bowl before.
Chad, don't do that to me. I actually have a horrible story about peeing.
Let's hear it. Dolphins Today live editions are great times for horrible stories.
It was my mom's birthday. I was in first grade.
Okay.
And we went to the boardwalk. There was a boardwalk that was like 15, 20 minutes away from our house. Had a bunch of rides and stuff, all the carnival stuff. You've been to a boardwalk before.
I have. Yeah.
So I was in first grade. Me and my brother, we were allowed to it was the early 2000s. We were allowed to just roam around without our parents around the boardwalk. And oh wow, that scared me. Mitch's face just appeared right there. We were allowed to go around and do whatever, right? So me and my brother, we were on the Ferris wheel, and we were the first people on for that ride. And if you've ever been on a Ferris wheel, you know everything it stops, and then it goes around and around and around. We were the first ones on, and then once we start going, I'm like, I made the mistake of telling my brother I had to pee.
Oh, no.
And then immediately he goes,
oh, that's tough. That's what good brothers are for.
So I was in first grade. It felt like 5 hours, and I ended up peeing my pants.
Oh, no.
But the worst
Chugs
part
the
is,
pants peer.
The worst part is once we got off, my brother announced to everybody in the line, he peed himself.
Oh, no.
So I ran and I hid. And then nobody could find me for 2 hours. So my mom and all of my family and all of her friends were searching for me around the boardwalk.
Because you were so embarrassed.
Yes, so I went and hid.
Oh, no.
I went and hid behind like one of the carnival rides.
Oh,
and,
no.
yeah, I ruined my mom's birthday.
Oh.
It was bad.
Chugs, that is hilarious. That is too funny. Oh, my goodness.
So, yeah, it wasn't the best.
Wow.
To say the least.
That is too funny.
Chad saying the water sounds, that just reminded me.
Did your brother apologize for it? Or?
Never.
Of course not.
I got in trouble.
Well, I think you were kind of both. That's what brothers are.
I got no cake.
Oh, because you ran away.
And it was Oreo.
Oh, what a bummer.
Yeah.
Now that's making me hungry. Oreo cake sounds good.
All right, well, we have a Dolphins playoff picture to get into.
Oh, yeah, we do. We do. I am excited to get into that playoff picture.
Oh.
I'm wondering if we should add some, perhaps, storylines to this playoff picture and how we would go about doing that.
And you know what? I'm going to go ahead. We'll add that at the very end. I'll do a little cold open for that, for your news and rumors.
All righty. All right.
Does that sound good?
That sounds like a great plan. All right. Let's do a playoff picture and discuss all the latest around the Miami Dolphins and the playoff picture, because Miami can clinch on Sunday, and we'll tell you exactly how right now. Welcome into this edition of Dolphins Today. I'm your host, Jake Riepma. Lots to get into around the Miami Dolphins, because this could be a huge weekend in Week 16 of the National Football League. Dolphins hosting the Cowboys. Nothing new there. But the Dolphins can clinch a playoff with a number of different scenarios, and some of them are a little bit kind of complicated. You might need a pen and paper to write it all down. But the easiest one to understand, win and you're in. So here's who the Dolphins are taking on in Week 16. That's right, it's the Dallas Cowboys. Both teams 10-4, and good versus good. If you missed our full preview, you got to check it out on the channel. But these are two high-powered offense, the best scoring offense against the second best scoring offense. And defensively, the Cowboys have been really good all season long. But the Dolphins, as of late, since about Week 9, have been one of the best defenses in the National Football League. Miami favored by 1.5 points. That over-under at 51. So the easiest scenario to remember for the playoff scenario, and if the Dolphins, in fact, can clinch a playoff spot, is win and you're in. That guarantees the Miami Dolphins will be a playoff team in 2023, is if you win and you're in. So remember that. Win and you're in. Now, things don't always go according to plan. I wish they did. But let's say some kind of horrible scenario happens where the Dolphins don't win. Here are the other clinching scenarios. And like I said, get out your pen and paper, because I'm going to be quizzing everybody at the end of this one to make sure we all remember. If the Dolphins tie and Jacksonville loses, Miami's in. If the Dolphins tie, Indianapolis loses, and Houston loses, the Dolphins are in. Probably know what's coming next. If the Dolphins tie, Indianapolis loses, or ties, and Cleveland loses, check the box, Miami's in. Houston ties, or no, if Miami ties and Houston loses or ties, and Cincinnati loses or ties, the Dolphins are in. And last but certainly not least, if the Dolphins tie, Cincinnati loses or ties, Indianapolis loses or ties, the Dolphins are in. So if you're like me, you probably don't remember all those scenarios, so let's just keep it real. Scale it for me in the comments. 1 through 10, your confidence level in Miami clinching a playoff spot this weekend. The easiest scenario to remember, win and you're in. And then if not, refer back to the video, because I can't even remember all of them. But obviously, a tie and a Jacksonville loss, that's one to remember, and so on and so forth. But let's keep it simple, stupid. Win and you're in. And here's what the playoff picture looks like right now. Division leaders, Baltimore at the very top, 11-3, who the Dolphins will play after the Cowboys in week number 17. But we're not looking ahead. Relax, Riepma. Then you got the Chiefs at 9-5, the Jags at 8-6, and then the wild card sets in. Browns 9-5, Bengals 8-6, both out of the AFC North. Indianapolis working through the AFC South, trying to catch Jacksonville. All things are yet to be determined, obviously, and then you got a lot of teams in the hunt. with Houston, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, and Denver, both 7-7. And I know they're on the screen, so we'll show them some love, but Vegas at 6-8. And I'm not saying that last one. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. Get the graphic off the screen. I'm not saying they're in the hunt. They're absolutely not. But you get the idea. The Dolphins are on the brink of clinching that playoff spot and will probably start to have a better idea of who they could be potentially playing if all goes according to plan as the season progresses. Now, as we progress on Dolphins Today, I got to let you know our presenting sponsor for today. Huge shout out to Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And just when I thought it couldn't get more exciting, it does. It's the 12-day of Pickmas. That's right. Prize Picks is offering 12 unique promotions each day leading up to the Christmas holiday. So you got to sign into your app each and every day to see what's new. And to get started, you got to go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. It's the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. We'll put that link right in the comments of today's video because we love you and we care about you. And part of the 12 days of Pickmas that are also so exciting, you'll find the Demons and Goblins. New from Prize Picks, you can make it easier or harder to win up to 100 times your money with the Demons that are statistically harder to win, but each entry qualifies with higher payouts. Go to prizepicks.com to see for yourself. And as always, I'll give you a few picks here. You can join me or fade me to more than 270.5 yards passing, Dak Prescott less than 276.5 yards passing, and Raheem Mostert 57.5 yards rushing. Easy money there, taking more. Now, as we continue with more on the AFC playoff picture and the potential for who the Dolphins might be playing, you got to start to think, okay, if I had a perfect world, who would I want the Dolphins to play in that opening round? Well, obviously, that number one seed is the most coveted position because that'd be a first-round bye. And to get to where the Dolphins want to go, they're obviously going to have to make some meaningful plays and have some big wins. But in that first round, let's get a little creative and have a little fun here and get a little hypothetical. Who do you want the Dolphins to play in the first round of the playoffs? And anybody's on the table, let me know. Do you want to see them play against a wild card team like perhaps maybe the Colts or the Browns or the Texans? There's a lot to be said out there. I don't think the Steelers are quite out of it yet. They're getting closer and closer. Denver's a potential team that the Dolphins could play in that opening round. But I'll tell you what, I think this Miami Dolphins team matches up great. And I know I'm getting ahead of myself. This is purely for fun, people. We're just having fun here. So don't yell at me in the comments. I'm not saying this is going to happen. But you look on paper who the Dolphins could have a field day against, it's the Indianapolis Colts. And while they've been a really surprising story, and in a lot of ways, you got to give Shane Steichen a ton of credit. In his first year as the head coach for the Colts, they've really overachieved to get to 8-6 this season. But they've been doing it by outscoring their opponents and not necessarily stopping their opponents. That Colts defense, not great. 27th scoring defense and 26th against the run, which tells me I think this Miami Dolphins team, especially at home, if they were to host a first-round playoff game against a wild card team like the Colts, I think they could run them out of the stadium and cruise to a victory. But again, I'm getting way ahead of myself. It's just the fun things we like to do this time of year as we get closer and closer to the playoffs. But let me know in the comments who you want to see in that first round of the playoffs. And again, remember, this weekend, the Dolphins can, in fact, clinch a playoff spot with a win over the Cowboys and several other different scenarios. If they tie, Jacksonville loses, Dolphins tie, Indianapolis and Houston lose. Lots of different scenarios out there, but in the end, it's real simple. Win and you're in. Want to remind you to subscribe to the channel because we do this every day. We've got a Dolphins video for you every single day, and it's always a good time to subscribe to Dolphins Today because we're telling you about everything that's going on, including the latest episode of Hard Knocks. So did you watch the episode of Hard Knocks? It was episode 5. Let me know in the comments, yes or no, because I've got 5 takeaways for you. And then I'll just warn you in advance, spoilers alert in these 5 takeaways, but still worth watching either way. Let's start with my first big takeaway from episode 5. That is Mike McDaniel loves him some Eminem. He was bumping the Eminem music to begin the episode, and you got a look into how motivated, how uniquely driven Mike McDaniel is, because he's watching film in his office at 3 in the morning after the Monday night collapse against the Titans. And with him blaring Eminem, it kind of gives you a look into his personality a little bit. And I think Omar Kelly put it best. Eminem is Mike McDaniel's angry music, because, of course, Mike McDaniel and all the Dolphins were angry after that loss to the Tennessee Titans. But as I always say about Hard Knocks, it's interesting to see the coaches, players, and everything in between behind the scenes. And this was another good picture into how Mike McDaniel operates. Now, a fun dynamic in the episode of the Hard Knocks, episode 5, was Zach Sieler and Christian Wilkins. They've been monsters in the middle of that defensive line all season long, but we got a glimpse into their personalities a little bit more, how excited they were to play together, and I loved the behind-the-scenes and storytelling associated with Zach Sieler's journey, who I've said it time and time again on the show. He went from a walk-on in Division II football to one of the most impactful interior defensive linemen, and you got to know his family a little bit. Also crazy that he and his now wife lived in an RV in the woods when he was playing for the Baltimore Ravens, because he didn't know week to week if he was going to continue to have a job. And the way his wife put it was awesome. They just wanted to be able to get up and go. So the guy literally lived in an RV for a lot of his NFL career, but we know what happened now. He's earned a 3-year contract with the Dolphins and made a home in Miami. But him and Christian Wilkins, the Salt and Pepper, they are also singing Zach Brown Band throughout the game. I mean, just great stuff there. I think if you haven't seen Hard Knocks yet in the episode 5, you're going to love this component of the episode, hopefully as much as I did. Now, Braxton Berrios and Alex Earl. I think I'm inclined and probably obligated to talk about this because it was such a big part of the episode. There wasn't anything bad with this. I just mentioned Braxton Berrios, heck of a wide receiver. Big, valuable asset for the Miami Dolphins. The punt returner does it, and the kick returner as well does it all. But Alex Earl is TikTok famous, and the way she is able to galvanize an entire audience to the tune of 6 million followers blows my mind. She's got 6 million followers on the TikTok. And what's interesting about it is she allowed, or I shouldn't even say allowed, but utilized Braxton Berrios on some of the TikToks with plucking his eyebrows and all kinds of funny behind-the-scenes stuff. And I guess that's what TikTok is for. But I think you'll enjoy that component of the episode as well. And maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But there is one thing, both Alex Earl and Braxton Berrios make a dynamic, famous couple. There is no doubt about it. And I love this part in the episode. Mike McDaniel, in the crystal ball, in the heat of the moment against the Jets, predicts the 60-yard touchdown bomb to Jalen Waddle. He spoke it into existence. It was the kind of moment on Hard Knocks that I believe their producers and cameramen dream of, because they've got the camera on Mike McDaniel, and he speaks it into existence. And he says, I'm really visualizing the one-play drive here, inferring that the Dolphins were going to score on the first play of the drive, and sure enough, Tua goes up top to Jalen Waddle for that 60-yard touchdown against the Jets. My, oh my, that was awesome. I love that part of Hard Knocks because it shows you how brilliant of a mind Mike McDaniel has. And last but certainly not least, probably the best part of the episode, Miss Martinez teaching math class and using the Dolphins statistics as the most influential and impactful learning tool for all the youngsters at her elementary school. And if you haven't yet seen Miss Martinez teaching class, she does a fantastic job engaging with the youngsters and really taking knowledge from the football field, applying it to make the classroom setting more lively, more enjoyable, the learning from it all. And I tell you what, I think every student deserves a teacher like Mary Martinez. And she tweeted this out, "The secret is out. What a dream. So happy to have been a small part of this production," referring to episode 5. Thank you, NFL Films, for showing the world a glimpse of what we do before and after each game. It's bigger than math. It's life. Because, again, she's a math teacher, and she uses Tyreek Hill statistics. She uses all kinds of Dolphins statistics in her teaching, and I'm telling you, it makes you smile, and it makes your heart smile. It is grade A quality content. And she went on to say she loves sharing my passion for the Miami Dolphins and the NFL with her students. It's been so rewarding. We are learning, growing, and overcoming adversity each and every day. So shout out to Mary Martinez. I wish I had her as an elementary teacher growing up. So if you haven't watched it yet, that's what to be looking for. And if you have watched it, let me know what you thought of episode 5 on Hard Knocks. Let me know in the comments. Get out your red pen and let's grade the 5th episode of Hard Knocks together. A, B, C, D, or F. Woo! Deep breath. Yeah.
Oh, Miss Martinez.
Yeah. Great teacher. Chugs, I tell you what, was your mic on there?
No.
Oh, man.
Probably good.
Yeah, you had me going, man. All right. How's everybody feeling in the comments?
Is there a Mr. Martinez?
Based on her Twitter Avi or profile picture, I would guess yes. But I could be wrong.
It's just wild.
It is so wild.
Woo. Teachers matter. Facts.
They sure do.
And you know what else matters? Our Dolphins Today mailbag's coming up in just a moment. So, if you haven't already, hashtag Dolphins in the comments section. I already see Chad Jones. I saw Sherry May. Obviously, you can super chat if you want to get on the show. Super chat, ask us whatever questions you have around the team. Hashtag Dolphins.
Let us know. Let us know. Let us know.
Bring them out. Bring them out.
It's hard to yell. What is the actual lyric there? It's hard to yell what?
It's hard to yell when the background's in your mouth. Sing
Oh, I see. I see. Gotcha. That's good stuff right there. That's good stuff. Woo! Lot of good questions. We harmonize so well. We got 82 people watching.
Great White Willie Shark 1976. You have the first part. Hashtag Dolphins. Then you put whatever question you have. You had the first part.
It's rocket science trying to remember what we're looking for.
So, we need more questions. So get down there, hashtag Dolphins, ask whatever question you need, and we'll get our live mailbag started. Also, we're going to be breaking down in our cut going out later. You'll probably see it. Ndamukong Suh is visiting with the Miami Dolphins.
That's crazy.
Will there be a reunion? Suh back to Miami.
Yes.
Back so soon?
Very good. The former number 2 overall pick out of Nebraska by the Detroit Lions, Ndamukong Suh. He has quite the reputation.
Chad said we don't want him. Is that true?
Yeah. I kind of with Chad on that. I mean, I know it was a long time ago. I just can't unsee him stomping on that Packers offensive lineman. Maybe you need that edge, you know?
Yeah, maybe. Hashtag Dolphins. I see Howard's question in there. Sherry May's getting a question in there.
That's a good question.
Great White Willie Shark 1976. You are so close to getting your question in. You just need to put something else besides hashtag Dolphins in there for you. Roger says, you can't tell me that Mike McD has saved some stuff for December and January dudes at the stadium at 4:30 a.m. every day. And see, that would be a great, statement if you put #Dolphins in there.
If you put the #Dolphins, we will get it on the screen.
All right. I think we have around enough questions to go, but keep them coming. #Dolphins in the comment section. I see you in there. A Great White Willie Shark. Also, Roger Goins, Hojo 58, Jarvis Tizano, LXB, Robert Fritz. I see y'all all in there. So ask your questions, use #Dolphins, and get on the ship. All right. Are you ready to rock?
Rock! Rock! I want to rock! Rock!
All right. Here we go. Dolphins mailbag coming up in just a moment whenever I get this all set. Coming up right now.
Hey, it's another Ask Anything mailbag. You've got the questions. We've got the answers. Let's make it happen. Dolphins taking on the Cowboys in Week 16 NFL action. And here are the pressing questions that are on your minds. Leading up to it, we start with the one and only Chad Jones. Who? Chad Jones. Who? Chad Jones. All right. Great question here. Dolphins, where's our O-line at for this game? And will X be playing? X referring to Xavier Howard. He sat out the last game against the Jets. I will tell you this, he did not practice on Wednesday, but that's not uncommon as a veteran. Sometimes, especially coming back from injury after a game that you already missed, you'll take a couple extra days. And based on the severity of the injury, it's still unknown whether or not he'll be able to give it a go dealing with the rib injury against the Dallas Cowboys. And obviously, they could certainly use the help on defense, with Dallas being the second-ranked scoring offense in the NFL behind none other than the Miami Dolphins. But if X does not go, that means Jalen Ramsey, Kader Kohou, and the rest of that Dolphins secondary will be tasked with shutting down a good Cowboys team. Eli Apple actually played pretty well in the game against the Jets. You've also got Ethan Bonner, who made his Dolphins debut. Cam Smith, the second-round pick out of South Carolina, tweaked a hamstring and is still up in the air, but he hasn't really played a lot on defense. We've only seen him on special teams, whereas Ethan Bonner actually played albeit in mop-up time, but he might even be the guy that gets the nod over Cam Smith, even if Cam Smith's healthy. But regardless, obviously Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey are the best two options there. As for the O-line, they're banged up, and that's been the story all season long. Liam Eichenberg was able to give it a go last week against the Jets. You've got Rob Hunt working through some things on the hamstring side of things. Austin Jackson battling some bumps and bruises. Isaiah Wynn remains on IR, and Robert Jones played against the Jets. Teron Armstead also in the lineup. So the way I see it with the offensive line is it's a musical chairs. It has been all season, but they've still been able to get the production. I think a lot of that has to do with the play calling ability of Mike McDaniel. But I will tell you this, majority of the offensive line did not practice on Wednesday leading up to Cowboys and Dolphins. Sherry May, what a great question we have here. I believe our defense is going to rattle Prescott's cage early and often. Isn't that our strength in this matchup? I agree. Now, I think any defensive line that can account for pressure on 10% or sacks on 10% of dropbacks like the Dolphins have, it's the second best in the NFL, only to the Chiefs, combined with the ability to pressure and hurry the quarterback, that makes any quarterback's life miserable. I don't care if it's Tom Brady, a Joe Montana, or Zach Wilson. If the quarterback can't throw, that's the best way to stop a dynamic quarterback. And Dak has been turnover prone in the past. He's having arguably the best year of his career. But that said, I've got my money on guys like Bradley Chubb Andrew Van Ginkel, even Emmanuel Ogbah as edge rushers. And then on the interior, we know how good Zach Sieler and Christian Wilkins have been. If they can continue to get home and rustle and, like Sherry May put it, rattle the cage of Dak Prescott, I think that bodes well for the Miami Dolphins. Harry Thomas checking in. Thanks for the question, Harry. Dolphins, do you think the Dolphins can dominate in the run game against Dallas like the Bills did? Yes. Now, Dallas's defense 5th in scoring, but a little bit lower in stopping the run. They give up right around 122 yards per game on average. It's about 19th, give or take, in the NFL. So certainly not the worst, certainly not the best. But given the production the Dolphins have had on the ground, the NFL's top rushing attack, when you've got weapons like Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane, and now throw Chris Brooks back into the mix, along with Jeff Wilson Jr., obviously with Mostert and Achane doing the majority of the damage, they can cause a world of hurt for just about any defense. We saw that against the Jets, who have a decent defense, but I feel confident about the Dolphins' run game and what they'd be able to do as far as the production level against, yes, a good Cowboys defense, but at home, the way the offense has been ticking, the way that Mike McDaniels creatively found ways to run the ball with weapons like Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane, I feel good about this rushing offense. But you tell me. Let's predict it. Let's put our prediction hat on. How many rushing yards for the Dolphins against the Cowboys? Remember, on average, the Cowboys give up right around 125, give or take, for the season in their average. Let me know in the comments. Get your prediction hat on. I'll say they put up 160. How about that? Because I'm feeling pretty confident in the Dolphins' run game. Who gets more rushing yards against the Cowboys, Mostert or Achane? Very good question, Robert Fritz, because Achane has battled injuries, and he burst onto the scene as a rookie phenom, and a lot of people felt like he was going to maybe even earn Rookie of the Year before he got hurt. But since the injury, and I'm being a little bit overly critical, but I really haven't seen that explosive nature yet. But he's that type of player who one carry, just a little glimpse, a little window, he can go the distance. And because of that game-changing speed and dynamic ability he has, I'll say Devon Achane, especially with teams now keying in on Raheem Mostert, although that hasn't stopped them in weeks past. Mostert leads the NFL in rushing touchdowns and total touchdowns as well. He also set a new Dolphins franchise record with 18 rushing touchdowns. That said, they are both a dynamic duo, and I think they'll both be on full display against the Cowboys and called upon for all kinds of work and hopefully help lead the Dolphins to a victory. And speaking of victories, it's so fun to win with Prize Picks. Today's presenting sponsor, prizepicks.com/CLNS is where you need to go for all the exciting daily fantasy options. Far and away, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports and the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform. So you know it's the best. They're doing things the competition isn't, like the 12 Days of Picksmas. The 12 Days of Picksmas is a new promo each day leading up to Christmas. So you got to sign into your app each day leading up to Christmas to see what is new. There's tons out there like the Demons and Goblins promotion from Prize Picks, which allows you to make it easier or harder to win. And the Goblins make it a little bit easier, whereas the Demons, yeah, just like the name suggests, they're a little wild. Statistically harder to win, but the entry can qualify you for higher payouts up to 100 times. It's incredible stuff. And did you know Prize Picks even offers a reboot policy? So if your player gets injured, not to worry. That one is automatically rebooted if it's in the first half. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy platform that has an insurance policy. Awesome stuff. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Don't waste any more time. Get there now. We'll put that link right in the description of today's video so you can just click it and be there because we love you and we care about you. It's PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Howard Huey has a great question here. Will Holland be back for Sunday's game? I wish I had the crystal ball and could just look right in and tell you yes. However, that's not the case. What the latest update from Mike McDaniel himself is that he is trending in the right direction. Of course, Holland has missed the last 2 games for the Dolphins and has been one of the best safeties, if not the best safety, in the NFL when he's been out there. He had the 99-yard interception return against the Jets, but he's missed the last 2 games. And what's interesting to note here is Holland did participate in a limited capacity in practice on Wednesday. So certainly that would suggest that he's at least eyeing that comeback to the field. And as each day progresses, we'll continue to evaluate that and what it entails for Sunday's game. But no definite yet. But if I were a betting man, this is just Jake Riepma talking, there's no report out there, but based on what Mike McDaniel said, combined with the fact that he did practice on Wednesday in a limited capacity, I would hope that Javon Holland is able to play on Sunday against the Cowboys. Another question from Chad Jones. Ndamukong Suh might try to come back, but do you believe his attitude is not good for the team? That's a great question because Ndamukong Suh is a longtime veteran in this league. We all know that. Former 2nd overall pick out of Nebraska by the Detroit Lions. He had a productive tenure in Detroit, albeit with some controversy. The Thanksgiving Day against the Packers where he stomped on a Packers helmet in the bottom of a pile. He's done some what many would deem dirty plays on the field. He's had kind of that attitude of that doesn't really resonate with a lot of people. But that said, he still has shown the ability to be an impactful player with that tremendous 2nd overall talent that would deem him as one of the better defensive linemen over the long-standing career that he's had. However, like some other players, you just have to ask yourself, is the risk worth the reward? The risk is he comes in with a bad attitude. He's a locker room cancer. The reward, he can help you on the interior of the defensive line, which is kind of a position group. You can never have too many guys at that spot because of the depth that's required to have an effective defensive line. That said, Zach Sieler and Christian Wilkins, they've been exceptional. 2 of the best defensive line combinations in all the National Football League. So to kind of back Chad's point up here, I don't know if it's necessarily worth it, the risk that comes with everything associated with Ndamukong Suh. So don't take this as a cop-out. It's truly what I feel. I think Chris Grier and that front office, since they worked him out and at least entertained him, their thought is at least circulating and they're processing and evaluating whether or not it would be worth it. So we'll have to wait and see what Chris Grier and the front office decide to do. From Christine Wilkerson, Dolphins, can Tyreek Hill still win MVP? I asked myself this exact same question earlier in the week because if he is going to get to 2,000 yards, which was his goal, he'll have to do it in 16 games. But you could also argue that that levels the playing field a little bit because when Calvin Johnson, as a member of the Detroit Lions, set the single season receiving yard mark, it was at a 16-game season. And so it's kind of an apples-to-apples comparison, which you could make the case begs even more of a reason that Tyreek Hill should earn MVP if he gets to that 2,000 yard because he broke the record in the same amount of games as Calvin Johnson. Again, this is all hypothetical speak here, and I don't even think it's as simple as, hey, he gets to 2,000 yards, he's the league's MVP. But Kurt Warner, NFL Hall of Famer, former quarterback, Super Bowl winning quarterback for the Rams, said Tyreek Hill is his MVP, and when a prominent figure and a talking head in the NFL comes out and says that, I don't think it hurts your campaign for MVP. So selfishly, I want Tyreek Hill to win the MVP. I think he can do it. But what say you? Let me know in the comments. Who do you think wins NFL MVP this year? Brock Purdy has great odds. Dak Prescott has good odds. Patrick Mahomes is on that list. Even Josh Allen's on that list. Tua Tagoailoa and, of course, Christian McCaffrey and Tyreek Hill are probably, and Lamar Jackson. How could I forget him? Those are probably the list of candidates that will be on the ballot. Great White Willie Shark. What's happening, man? Will Chris Brooks be used as a power back? That's exactly what I'm hoping for, Great White Willie Shark. I want to see Chris Brooks be utilized in the short yardage game because he runs angry. In fact, before he got injured, one of his runs was featured on Good Morning Football's Angry Run of the Day. And you see the stats there, 15 carries, 94 yards, no touchdowns yet. So obviously a very, very small sample size in just 3 games with 15 carries. But the preseason, Chris Brooks looked really good. Undrafted free agent out of BYU. I think he can be used as a power back, and that's what I hope to see from the Dolphins and Chris Brooks. This from Dolphin. Tua is a top 5 quarterback, right? Absolutely. Short answer, yes, yes, and yes, because you got the guy leading the NFL in passing yards. You've got the guy leading the number 1 scoring offense. And albeit he did have a rough stretch there in the middle of the season, he's gone his last 3 games without throwing an interception. And he's 19-5 in his career as a starter at Hard Rock Stadium, which is really impressive. 24-10 in the last 34 starts for Tua Tagovailoa. And that's just wins, losses, but you could make the case that's the most important statistic, the only one that really matters. And you look at that throw he had against the Jets to Jalen Waddle. That ball, so one of the knocks on Tua is the arm strength or how far the ball will travel in his throws. But go back and watch the film on that one. Play action, sets his feet, and just shows off the cannon with the arm strength. Give me Tua Tagovailoa, number 1 on the field and number 1 in our hearts. He's a top 5 quarterback. When Dolphins fans news happens, we have you covered. That's why you subscribe. Going to need each and every one of you to subscribe to the channel as we continue to grow on Dolphins Today. It's been so fun watching this channel grow in 2023. The Dolphins having their best season in several years. In fact, multiple decades. The last time they were 10-4, 2000. So how about that, sports fans? 23 years, and it's a testament to each and every one of you that have subscribed to the channel. That's why the Dolphins are having success. But in all seriousness, we appreciate your subscription. And if you like what you see, we're bringing you Dolphins videos every single day, as well as live watch shows and, of course, live watch party. So don't miss a moment. Subscribe, set your notifications, and join us each and every day on Dolphins Today. Hey, Chugs, I'm losing my voice.
Great job.
I'm losing my voice.
Well, I hope you find it.
What is that from? Have you lost your mind, boy? Because I'll help you find it. Oh, The Office, Stanley.
There you go.
Season 2. Bring your daughter to work day.
Great episode.
Oh, yeah.
Like always, appreciate everybody in the chat. Appreciate everybody who's watching from beginning to end. Y'all are some real ones here on Dolphins Today. Me and Riepma, we're about to get some of this Dolphins breaking news going together. We're going to break down some of that Ndamukong Suh news in just a moment. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Stay tuned. Turn on your notifications because we'll be giving you more Dolphins content leading up to them whooping the Cowboys' ass this weekend. Riepma, any last words?
I love you guys.